Hi team, how you doing? So I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. I'm just going to go into the group and check because I have like the whole double computer thing happening here. We're definitely going to be live on YouTube, but I just want to make sure that it's actually going to go live inside the Facebook group as well because it doesn't always. Oh my God, it did! You have no idea. I have actually spent so much time yesterday and today trying to honestly figure this out. And I want to make sure I'm speaking into my mic, which is right up here. But I have spent so much time figuring this out. Look, like creating like a little studio backdrop. I cannot believe it has actually gone live. Laura's just commented and be like, "Yay, it worked!" Oh my Lord, this has been the bane of my life. I actually had to bring my son in. I had to bring my 12-year-old son in to set all this up for me. I couldn't get the mic connected. I couldn't get the camera connected. It was an absolute shit show, but I actually think we've finally managed to figure it out. So thank you for your patience while I got all this organized. You have no idea how much joy it brings me to be able to see you all here, see myself here. Oh my God. And I can actually see the comments as well. This really is a monumentous occasion, genuinely a monumentous occasion. So let me pull up the graphic while you guys are all on. I'm actually going to press it here so that I can see the comments coming over here. So Laura's like, "No stopping, Kim Constable." Here I am like a dog with a bone. See, whenever I need to figure something out, I am literally like a dog with a bone. And I was determined I was going to figure this out. I was actually up this morning at 4:45 and I worked steadily on getting this StreamYard issue sorted from 4:45 until 9 a.m. So here we are. This is exciting. I'm so happy that we're here for this live Q&A. I'm just going to pull up the questions. We had asked questions inside the group, and I'm just going to pull up that graphic because I think that there are a lot of questions on them, and I want to make sure that I get through them all today. Now, if you have a question that you want to ask live, then go on ahead and write it in the comments. What would actually be really good would be if you could write question, like in capital letters, before the actual question, because that will help me to figure out what are questions and what are comments. So just give me a yay that the sound is good, everybody. I can actually see the Facebook comments here as well. This is astonishing. Like genuinely, this is astonishing. I actually can't believe this. Let me know that you guys are that can hear me okay. Let me know that the sound is okay. That I've got the mic right here, so I just want to make sure it's picking up the sound okay and that everything is good. Tell me if you like my new backdrop. Although this isn't how it's going to be. I just put these things in here to make it look a wee bit more attractive. But I'm going to build out a lovely wee studio in the background. And you guys are all saying, yes, 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 you can hear me. Okay, I promised you I would figure it out. Here we are. Okay, questiones. Let's get to the questiones. The questions. Let me pull them up. Oh, went out of it by mistake. Here we go. What are the burning questions that you all have for me today? All comments. Okay, so we have Princess Rara Rose is asking. She says, "Hi Kim, I love all of your programs. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be a part of the group. You and all the TSV team are absolutely amazing. My question for you today is, I will be entering the competition with my real name, but it is different to my Facebook name. Is that going to be a problem?" No, it's not going to be a problem. So for those of you who are going to be doing the menopause challenge and aren't just here for the party, next Friday, we're going to be giving away three programs, 3 extreme menopause body makeover programs. It's a $1,000 program, and we're going to be giving away 3 of them to 3 people who have entered the competition. And to enter the competition, all you have to do is show up and watch the lives each day next week. We are going to give you a word in the workouts and in the masterclasses with me. That word is going to form part of a fitness phrase, an 8-word fitness phrase. And then on Thursday, I'm going to give you a URL that you're going to upload the phrase to. And you're going to upload that before midday or before 11 a.m. on Friday, 11 a.m. UK time. the fitness phrase, you're going to upload it to the website, and then everyone who uploads the correct fitness phrase will go into a draw to win one of $3,000 programs on Friday, which is really exciting. And it doesn't matter if your Facebook name is different, because all you have to do, if we shout out your name, is write into our customer services team within 5 minutes of us shouting out your name, and you will win one of the programs. And what we do is we actually ask you to send through a picture of your driving license or your passport or something like that, so that we can identify that you are who you say you are, and then we will send you full access to the program. So if you want to win, that's what you have to do. But we do have the rules in as a PDF download in your hub, so make sure that you go to the new customer hub and you download the rules from there, and that will give you everything that you need to know. What else have we got here? Okay, we have Christina Bellavali. I think that's how I pronounce it. She says, I just have a bit of a stupid question. I'm sorry. No questions are stupid. I'm just doing the shopping list for the vegan meal plan, and I wonder what garlic oil is. Is it actual pressed garlic oil, like essential oil, or is it just garlic infused oil? It's a garlic infused oil. So over here, what we do is in the supermarket, we can buy olive oil, which basically is just infused with garlic. It's very easy to make your own though. My chef at home, he makes all of our own garlic oil. He literally just puts extra virgin olive oil or olive oil in a big glass bottle, and then he just fills it with garlic cloves. And if you just let that infuse for about 7 days, is actually the best way to do it, that becomes absolutely delicious garlic oil. So what we do is we have a bottle which we're currently using, and then a bottle which is infusing for the next week, and we go through about a bottle a week. We use garlic oil and everything. It's a really easy way to flavor your food with garlic without actually having to use fresh garlic, although I do love fresh garlic, but a lot of people don't like to cut it or to work with it because it makes your fingers smell. But actually, here's a really good tip for peeling garlic, which a lot of people don't know. If you set a garlic clove on your chopping board and turn your knife on its side, set it on top of the garlic clove, and then give it a good thump with your hand, what that will do is it'll smash the garlic clove slightly and the skin just comes off. So never be sitting peeling off skins off garlic cloves. Just turn it on the side, give it a bit of a thump. It'll smash the garlic clove slightly, and you just peel it off, and then you can just chop it up or crush it or do whatever. She also says, I'm allergic to ginger, but I'm fine with galangal. Is it worth substituting, or should I just skip the ginger? You can just skip the ginger, it's fine. So galangal is simply Thai ginger. It has much fresher taste than regular ginger. You can substitute if you want, but if you don't want to use ginger, you can just leave it out. It really isn't an issue. It's not for its anti-inflammatory properties or anything. It's simply just for taste. So you can leave it out. Michelle Grindle has asked me, what do I do for soreness from lifting weights? And honestly, my answer to this is kind of unorthodox, really, because it's not something that, most trainers would be like, oh, take an Epsom salts bath and have a relaxing massage. And I'm just like, bang a couple of painkillers into you, love. That's what I've learned to do over the years. Honestly, a hot bath, if you're really sore, does help. Do Epsom salts help in your bath? Potentially, I don't know. I do put Epsom salts in my bath. And here's another tip for your Epsom salts. Don't buy the little packets of Epsom salts that you get in the health food store. Go on to Amazon and buy a 25 kilogram box of Epsom salts. It will last you forever. It is far, far, far more cost effective. You can buy about a kilogram of Epsom salts from the health food store, and you'll pay about $10 for it, or maybe even more. Whereas I think a 25 kilo box of Epsom salts on Amazon is, well, I haven't bought one in ages because my housekeeper buys it now. I want to say about $30. Like, it is so cheap in comparison to, maybe it might be slightly more than that, but it's so cheap in comparison to what you buy the kilograms for. Because whenever you put Epsom salts in your bath, you really want to be putting like a lot of Epsom salts in. It's not enough to just put a cup in. You want to put, we have a jar. So here's another tip. Get like a jar, that you would put flowers in. We have a jar about this size, and it's quite wide, and it sits in the bathroom, in the bath. Don't do what my daughter did and smash it one day. That was fun. We were all like, what the hell was that? Just smashed it in the bath. But we keep a big jar of Epsom salts in the bathroom. We fill it up from the big box, and then every time someone gets in the bath, they chuck Epsom salts into it. Now, why is it good to put Epsom salts in your bath? Because Epsom salts are basically pure magnesium, and magnesium is very readily absorbed through the skin. Magnesium is phenomenal for protecting the myelin sheath around the nerve ending. It's really good for muscle cramps. It's really good for muscle contraction and relaxation. It just basically supports the muscle. It's also phenomenal for sleep. So if you have a bath in the evening with about 4 cups, maybe more, 6 cups of Epsom salts in your bath, like, don't be afraid to dump a huge amount in. You will sleep much better that night. So that's what it's really good for. So that's what I do whenever I'm super sore. I will always have a bath because it's just nice, just, take the edge off it. But I will also just take a couple of ibuprofen. Now, ibuprofen are not, they say you shouldn't take them for soreness because it actually reduces inflammation. You want the muscles to be inflamed, because when the muscles are inflamed, that means that they're healing and repairing. But I find that especially after leg training, after a heavy leg day, if I take a couple of ibuprofen before going to bed, what that actually does is helps me to sleep, because I don't get the tired, restless legs, and then it helps me with the pain the next day. So it's an unorthodox way of dealing with the pain, but that's what I do. Christine Plowman. She says, "Hi Kim, hope you're well. I'm in perimenopause and I'm finding the fatigue and zero libido is the worst part. I feel drained all the time and I just want that spring in my step again. Any suggestions on how to stop the fatigue or lessen it, please, would be a major help." Christine, I honestly have no advice for you here other than consider going on HRT. I am a massive advocate for HRT. I have done a huge amount of research into it. I've spoken to top doctors who are menopausal doctors. We have a gynecological surgeon as one of our coaches on staff. Dr. Rachel is actually a bona fide gynecological surgeon. She's amazing. And the benefits of HRT are just phenomenal. My own doctor, who is a menopause specialist, I went to see a specialist consultant. She told me that she believes every woman should be on HRT by the age of 45. It protects your bones, it protects your joints, it protects your hormonal health. For me, honestly, the fatigue and the loss of libido was just insane for me. I just couldn't cope with how I felt. It was genuinely awful. But now I am back to having the spring in my step that I had like in my 20s. I've never felt this good. I didn't realize how bad I felt until I started HRT. I've just finished my 4th month. I'm going into my 5th month. And everything is just really settling down now. All of my menopausal symptoms have disappeared. I don't have the fatigue. I am going and getting extra blankets at night because I'm cold. My husband is like, "Who even are you?" Like, I'm actually starting to get cold at night. Whereas I was like a furnace at night going to sleep. It was horrendous. And I just was tired all the time. My head hurt all the time. I felt exhausted all the time. My joints hurt all the time. It was just awful. So I really tried. I was going to say I tried everything. I didn't try everything at all. That's not true. I just continued with my life as normal and hoped that it would get better. But one thing I will tell you is my diet is on point. I get a lot of exercise. I sleep really well. Even when I was menopausal, I slept really well, apart from the hot nights. I am one of the healthiest people that you have ever met. And honestly, I didn't find anything that helped me with feeling better. So apart from HRT, changed my life. So that's what I would recommend. You may not want to do that, but that is what worked for me. I don't honestly know any other ways, and I wish I could give you a magic bullet because or magic pill. I know how you feel. Oh my God, I know how you feel. Okay. What else have we got? Anne Romike is saying, "Is the upcoming menopause program, the 6-month one, appropriate to do with my 19-year-old daughter?" Yes, Anne, 100% is. The information that we're going to be teaching and my teachings are very specific to menopausal women, but the training is suitable for everybody. The principles that we're teaching in the program are suitable for anybody of any age. Now, why do I say this? Because I've actually been eating the way that we teach women in menopause to eat for the last 15 years. I discovered eating this way 15 years ago. And it was funny because then whenever I started having all of these menopausal women come through my programs, and then I started to go through menopause and I started to research it, and I realized how and why the body diverts energy, creates insulin resistance within the cells to divert more energy to fat store to create more estrogen. I realized that the way I've been eating for all of these years is actually exactly the way menopausal women should eat, because the way that I teach on this program, which is actually the way I believe bodybuilders should eat for maximum muscle growth, maximum health, maximum nutrition input, the way that I teach everyone to eat on this program is the way menopausal women need to eat. But it's not specific to menopausal women. It just works for menopausal women. So as a vegan bodybuilder, I've been eating this way for 15 years. Even before I was a bodybuilder, I've been eating the way that I teach. So, but then, as like I said, whenever I got into menopause, I was like, I didn't suffer from any of the weight gain. And then I began to research it and I realized, oh my God, the way I teach women to eat is actually exactly what menopause women should be doing to stop the body from diverting energy to fat stores through insulin resistance. It completely short circuits the process. It stops your body from storing excess fat around your middle, which is what happens in menopause. And it was mind blowing to me. So the thing about it is anyone can eat this way, anyone at all, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 70-year-olds. It works for everybody. It just works very specifically for menopausal women. So yes, 100% safe for your daughter to do with you. Nat Ali, she says, I heard in a podcast or an old program that we don't burn fat until 20 minutes into the cardio workout. Would that still apply if we went straight into cardio after weight training? Would we not get into the fat burning mode quicker? No, you wouldn't, Nat, and I'll tell you why. Because training in the gym is for building muscle and cardio is for burning fat. So whenever you're training in the gym, well, you know what? Yes and no. Depends on what training you're doing. If you're doing, I'm assuming you're doing the training on my programs, which is split body parts. So you will never train your full body in the gym. You will do shoulders and biceps on a Monday, legs on a Tuesday, back on a Wednesday, chest and triceps on a Monday, legs quad focused on a Tuesday, back on a Wednesday, shoulders and biceps on a Thursday, and you'll do hamstring focused glutes on a Friday. That will be your split for the week. So if you're in the gym on a Wednesday training back, and then you get on the stepper to do your cardio, your back isn't involved in the cardio. Your legs are moving. So the GLUT4 receptors are open on the surface of the muscle cells in your back, but not in your legs. So what happens is once then you start to move your legs and you start to move your legs consistently, the GLUT4 is open on your legs because your body thinks, oh, now we're training legs. But after you're consistently doing that for about 10, 20 minutes, your body goes, oh, okay, we're not actually training legs. There's not a cardio, there's not a muscular demand on the leg muscles apart from just, walking upstairs or walking up a hill or whatever. We're actually fat burning. So because cardio is for cardiovascular health, what happens is your heart rate raises and your heart starts to consistently pump blood around the body and it starts to increase your cardiovascular activity. Training back or training legs or training your biceps does not increase your cardiovascular activity. So as soon as your body registers that this is not a muscle building exercise, that it's a cardiovascular exercise, it switches to burning fat stores as energy if you're doing low intensity steady state cardio. Why is this? Because your body wants to conserve muscle glycogen more than anything, because what if, in your body's mind, you suddenly had to run from a big tiger? Because your body still thinks you're living in the jungle in primitive times. And so it thinks that at any point, a massive bear could come out of the woods and run after you and want to give you a massive big bear hug, right? It would be like, roar, and you'd be like, ah, and you'd be running, right? So you'd need all of that glycogen in your muscles to be able to run. So your body always wants to keep your primary energy source intact, which is muscle glycogen, and it wants to burn off fat stores for energy if it can. So it will choose whatever it is that it needs for the activity that it's doing. So initially, it's going to start burning off glycogen in your legs because it's going to think, okay, we're using our leg muscles and that's, it's going to be moving along. And then once it realizes this is a cardiovascular activity, it'll switch to fat store. But that doesn't happen until you've actually been repetitively walking or stepping or moving, doing a repetitive action, pushing your heart rate into the fat burning zone for, 20 minutes is an approximate. It can be like 10 to 20 minutes, but that's how long it takes for your body to switch over into fat burning mode. That's why it's important that you do low intensity steady state cardio for really no less than 20 minutes. 20 minutes to start, and then you should build it up over a longer period of time. It's also why your body needs to be in the fat burning zone. Sorry, your heart rate needs to be in the fat burning zone, because if it's not in the fat burning zone, then your body, it's not signaling to your body to burn fat. And somebody asked me the other day, does it have to be in the fat burning zone the whole time? And I was like, yeah, because otherwise it's not burning fat. Makes sense, doesn't it? So yeah, as much as you can, it has to be in the fat burning zone the whole time. Alrighty, what else have we got going on here? I'm going to take some questions here. I'm going to take some questions on, I don't think I can see the questions from the Facebook group here. I can only see the ones from YouTube. So I'm going to take them here first. What have we got here? Fiona Lagan. Hi, Fiona. She says, question, I'm going on holidays this Thursday, so I won't be able to join next week, but will I be able to do it when I come home? Fiona, if you are a VIP, then yes, you will, because the VIPs get lifetime access to the hub, to the videos, to the trainings with Laura, to the trainings with me. It's all there in the hub for you. But if you're not a VIP, unfortunately, everything will be gone next Friday. So after the challenge is finished on Friday, we take down all of the other materials. So, but this time VIP is only $17 because this time VIP doesn't include Zoom coaching with me, unfortunately. And that is simply because my director, well, actually, she's not director, she's my vice president of operations, Jamie, is coming over from America next week to be here. It's the first time she'll ever be here during like a challenge and a launch, which is phenomenal. We're so excited to have her. So she's going to be here. She's going to be staying with me. So I don't want my evenings at 7 o'clock to be taken up with Zoom calls every night because it is a lot of work to do the Zoom calls. So we decided to slash the price of the VIP from $37 because you're not getting the Zoom calls down to $17. And you guys get loads of extra stuff in your hub as well. So $17 gets you lifetime access to the workouts and to the masterclasses. And honestly, we had so many people writing to customer service after the last one. It's very nice actually, and saying, could they buy the VIP because they genuinely didn't believe or they had no idea that the trainings, the masterclasses were going to be so powerful and they really wanted to watch them again. So if you want to have lifetime access, the $17 is well worth your money. What is that in Great British pounds? It's, I think, about 10 pounds, no, 7 times 40, not 12 pounds, about 12 pounds in our money. So it's really not worth an awful, it's really not an awful lot. So hopefully that's within your budget and you can afford it. That's the only way that you can get access to the masterclasses after next week. You guys are all saying the sound is so much better. And Faustina's saying she likes my very calm, very demure. Apparently there's a whole thing going around about the word demure now. I don't know. I haven't heard about it. I don't listen to the news, but yeah, I'm liking the whole, it's nice, isn't it? I'm really liking the whole background. I'm very excited about getting it all fixed. And the sound is so much better because last time I didn't realize that my 12-year-old son pointed out to me yesterday that my microphone, which is here above me, actually needs charged. So whenever I had it plugged in last time, it wasn't turned on. So the sound, the camera in front of me here was actually just picking up the sound, which is why it was so terrible. I was listening back to it like, how did these people actually listen to me? It was so terrible, the sound. It was like nails on a blackboard. It was horrendous. So bravo, all of you, for actually putting up with that horrendous sound to listen to the content. Ellie Annabelle, she says, I have a question on supplements. How big a deal are they? What's the difference between taking them and not taking them on a daily basis? Listen, it's hard for me to talk about supplements because see, if you had got me years ago, if you had got me in 2017, 2018, and you would have been like, Kim, what supplements should I be taking? I'd be like, oh, okay, so here's the supplements you need. For general health, you need to take vitamin C and magnesium and vitamin B12 complex, and you definitely need what else would I have taken? Oh, vitamin D, especially if you don't live in a hot country. And then you need L-carnitine and you need ALA and L-glutamine and definitely BCAA as well, and L-leucine. And then for these, and like I would have given you a list as long as your arm of supplements that you needed to take to get better results in bodybuilding. And I would have honestly believed that in order to maximize your potential, in order to get the best you could possibly get out of the program you were doing, you needed these supplements, and you would be crazy not to take them, because if you want the best possible results, right, you're gonna go the extra mile. And so I would have taken all of the supplements under the sun. And then what happened was I started riding my horses a couple of years ago, and kind of took a step back from training. Was still training about 3 days a week, lost a huge amount of muscle because I wasn't training. Went down from I was always about 60, between 66 and 68 kilos. Went down to 60 kilos, which is really not very heavy for me, and lost a lot of muscle. And stopped taking all supplements. I mean, I take protein powder occasionally if I'm having oatmeal in the morning, but stopped all supplements, literally stopped everything, stopped taking any supplements at all. And then decided I didn't like having lost all my muscle. So about nearly a year and a half ago now, so January 2023, I decided I would go back and train with Mark, my trainer. I have a gym at home and I was just training in my home gym for about 2 years. Called Mark and said, I want to come back training. I'm going to bring my boys with me because they want to start training and we're all going to start training in the gym. He was like, great, come on in. So I started training with Mark 4 days a week. I always used to train 5, but I started training 4 days a week because I thought 5's just too many for where I'm at right now. I run this huge company. I have horses to ride. I have a family to look after. I'm just going to go back to training. I'm just going to train 4 days a week, 1 leg day, not 2 leg days. So I went back to train, and because really I wasn't focused heavily on my bodybuilding journey anymore, I wasn't like, must build muscle for the stage or whatever, I didn't take any supplements. I didn't count my calories. I didn't take any extra protein powder. I didn't take any L-glutamine or Lutein or Vitargo or anything like that. I would have been like so meticulous about taking everything in the past. I went off all health supplements as well, stopped taking all of them, and I built like 10 kilograms of muscle in 18 months. In fact, just over 18 months. I weighed myself the other day. I stood on the scale at 70 kilos. Now, I'm not any bigger. I don't have any more body fat because I know my body fat. I can like do the pinch test. It's probably sitting at about 15, 16% body fat at the minute. And I've always been around that size of body fat, or that amount of body fat. But I stood on the scale the other day at 70 kilos. So I put on 10 kilos of muscle. That's like 12, 13, what's that, 12, 13, 14, over 14 pounds of muscle in just over a year and a half, taking 0 supplements. And so what I realized is, actually, it's not even what I realized. Mark's been telling me it for years, but of course, I was like, well, it's easy for him to say because he's been like bodybuilding for 20 years. He would say that kind of thing. But really, the thing that gets you the best results is if you show up consistently, you eat the same food all the time consistently, you do some cardio or movement consistently, and you train to failure consistently. That is what gets you the best results. See, all the other stuff, the meticulous counting, your macros and calories, and all of the different supplements and all the different fat burners and muscle building supplements, I honestly can't say. I mean, I didn't take any of them for 18 months and I built 10 kilos of muscle just through sheer hard work. So do you need them? In my opinion, no. Some people like to take them though. And in the beginning, and I would never knock anyone who does take them. Some people, I was one of those people, right? They swore by them. If you take loads of supplements, you're going to get better results. And you like to get up in the morning and put your scoops in. It makes you feel good, right? Even if you can't see the muscle, at least you're taking the supplements, right? It makes you feel like you're doing something, because this bodybuilding journey is a long slog. It takes a long time to burn body fat and a long time to build muscle. So I really felt like I was doing something at least, which was good. Do you need them? In my opinion, no. If you don't have a big budget for them, leave them out. If you don't like taking supplements, no problem at all. If you love taking supplements, they ain't gonna do you any harm. Are they gonna give you a competitive advantage? Maybe. I mean, creatine, for example, draws water into the muscle. So whenever you're lifting and there's more water in the muscle, potentially you're gonna be able to lift more because your muscle is hydrated. But that's only if you're actually pushing big weights. The problem is most people are taking all these supplements, but they're not actually pushing to their potential. I would rather see people ditch all the supplements and actually focus all of their efforts on lifting to their full potential, getting a spotter or a trainer for a couple of sessions so they can really see what failure is. That's what I would like to see people focusing on. I think that sometimes people want to focus on supplements and other things because those are easy. And they think that if I can just take lots of supplements, then that's going to accelerate my journey, and I'm not going to have to really push myself as hard as Kim pushes herself. Unfortunately, you are. No supplement is ever going to substitute hard work. And I'm not saying that is you, Ellie, But that is some people that I have met. They want to take the supplements and they want to do all these things, and they think that, they can get away with not lifting really heavy and hard into failure and they can get these results. Unfortunately, in my experience, you can't. So I don't think the supplements are needed at all. Melinda, when does the 6-month menopause program begin? It starts October 28th, but it's already actually started. I coach in there on a Monday and a Wednesday. So this is the first program in a long time, years and years and years, that I have coached. I'm going to be coaching the program personally for the next 6 months. Like, that hasn't happened in years and years and years. So, and it probably won't happen again for years, because I'm launching an entirely new company called Only Fitness, and we're launching that next year. We're also going to be launching a certification program, certifying people in the sculpted vegan method so they can become fitness trainers themselves. So that's all happening next year. So I don't see myself ever having the time to coach another 6-month program. So if you want to be coached by me, this is the time to join this program. It officially starts October 28th, but we're going to be doing this program as a 6-month build. If somebody wants to do it as a 3-month build and then a 3-month shred, that's totally fine. That's how the program is laid out. But I would actually prefer that everybody does it as a lean build, focusing on losing body fat and sculpting lean muscle for a full 6 months. So we can really focus on getting you training to failure, understanding how hard you have to push yourself in the gym, working out your nutrition, really holding your hand through all of the little nuances and all of the little bits that have caused you to fail in previous challenges. That's what I want to do. I want to get you to the point where you don't need me anymore. That's the goal of the 6-month program. Of course, I hope that you're going to stick around, but I want to get to the point where you don't need me anymore. That's the goal. So it starts October 28th, but we have actually started now. I'm coaching already in the program. We've got another coaching session tomorrow at this time in the private group. We even have a private messenger chat set up as well. So if you want to get access to me immediately to get your questions answered, you just go into Facebook Messenger, into the app, and you just pop in a message, and me or one of the coaches gets back to you like that. Like, people are literally saying, I'm just prepping my food and I only have silken tofu. Is this okay instead of extra firm? And me or one of the coaches comes back instantly and is like, yeah, that's totally fine. No problem at all. Just substitute this or whatever. You don't have to go into the Facebook group, write a post, wait for a response. We have like a private chat where you can get like direct access to me or one of the coaches. Like, where else in the world do you get direct access to ask me a question? Nowhere. I don't even answer my own messenger messages or DMs. Like, my team do that for me on social media. So, well, sometimes I answer my own Instagram DMs, but I get so many, like I get thousands a day. So that's why the team helped me. So there's nowhere else you can get direct access to me, especially not for this price. So if you want to jump into that program, I would advise you jump in, because genuinely you're not going to want to miss this one. Okay, what else have we got? Analog. For the meal plan, we just choose one breakfast, one lunch, one dinner, I assume, not all of it. I'm not sure what you mean, Anna, but yes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So we've given you options. So whenever we ran the last challenge, the meal plan that we gave with the challenge, we had a lot of people saying, oh, it's not a meal plan, it's just recipes. But I was like, no, it's not just recipes. We've just given you a variety. I think we've given you 3 for breakfast, 3 for lunch, 3 for dinner, 3 snacks. So you can actually, or maybe it's only 2, but you can choose which one you want. So if you don't like that one, you can say, oh, I'll choose that one instead. So it's actually a way to keep you really on plan, actually, because a lot of times people fall off the wagon because they don't like a particular meal or don't like a particular ingredient, or they are allergic to a particular ingredient. So this way you can choose something that works for you. So yes, you just choose one of each and you either prep that for the whole week by multiplying it by 7 and prepping it for the week, or you can, do different breakfasts on different days, different lunch on different days. It's completely flexible to your needs. Okay, you guys are saying that HRT is hard to get prescribed in the US. It's hard to get prescribed here too, but let me tell you, if you just insist on it, they can't say no. It's your body at the end of the day. So it is hard. It's amazing how much stronger you can be with doctors than you believe. I literally, I just go into the doctor's office and go, this is what I need. And they're like, oh, we don't believe you should have HRT. I'm like, I actually don't care. This is my body. And I have looked at my symptoms and I know a lot about menopause because I have researched it, and you just present a good argument. I've got this and this and this and this and this. Just you tell the doctor what you need. It's amazing how people have this thing about doctors and teachers. They're like gods and they're afraid to question them. I walk into the doctor's office and tell them exactly what my symptoms are and exactly what I need. It's amazing how they don't even question you. So just bloody well walk in and tell them this is what you need. Fight for your right for HRT. Fight for your right for, for whatever you need. You're a grown-ass woman. If you need HRT, you fucking well tell them that you're going to have HRT. That's what I say. Eve Sachs, what body fat do you think is sustainable? Obviously can get lower for a show or photo shoot or holiday, but what's sustainable for the rest of the year? Well, I maintain about a 16% body fat all year round. I know women who maintain a lower body fat than that. It just depends on how hard you're willing to work. Like a very good friend of mine, Natalia Mello, online, Natalia is probably about 13-14% body fat all year round. I want to even say maybe, I don't think she's 12, but she's super, super lean, very low body fat. But she does a lot of cardio every day. She loves doing her cardio. So she's always, every time I used to go to the gym, she used to live here in Belfast, and I used to go to the gym at David Lloyd before I had my own gym at home. Every time I went in, Natalia's on the cross trainer, like pumping away on the cross trainer. And she did lift weights, but she did cardio as much as she lifted weights. It's because she loves to be lean. So it really just depends on how much cardio you're willing to do. Anyone who's going to do a lot of cardio is going to be super lean, but you also have to lift a lot of weights, and you have to eat enough food in order to build muscle from lifting weights. So it really depends on how hard you're willing to work. I'm getting up every morning now, or 5 mornings a week, and doing 45 minutes on the Stairmaster. I haven't changed my diet in any way. I've just added in 45 minutes on the Stairmaster because I'm not riding my horses at the minute because they're off on a break. And so I have dropped a little bit of body fat. I can feel myself slightly leaner around my middle. And if I wanted to get down lower than that, I would have to do more cardio, or I would have to cut food out of my diet. So it really depends on how little you're willing to eat and how hard you're willing to work. But I mean, for me, certainly 15% is sustainable all year round. For some people, it is lower. But if you're lower than that, you do have to work really hard to maintain it. Christine Plyman is saying, what HRT do you take? I take Femiston. It's a tablet, so Femiston 1/10. It's not a very strong one. My doctor basically just said to me, would you prefer a gel or a patch or a tablet? And I said, well, which one is better? She said, they're all exactly the same. It just depends on what you think that you would take every day. I said, well, I've been taking tablets daily, like my entire life. I have, any supplements I take sit beside my bed. As soon as I get up in the morning, on my bedside table, the first thing I do is I just take my supplements because they're always beside my bed. So she said, okay, well, a tablet would work well for you then. So I take a tablet every day. I also do vaginal estrogen as well because I was suffering really badly with, UTIs for years. So I started taking that. I take it on a Monday and a Thursday, I do a vaginal estrogen tablet as well. And those sit on my bedside table. I get up every morning, just pop in the pill, works for me. Monday and Thursday, I do the other tablet. Am I taking any other supplements? I take lysine at the minute as well because I was having shingles flare-ups, and lysine helps to actually suppress the varicella virus. And am I taking anything else? No, that's it. And sometimes I keep some After Party beside my bed, which is an incredible supplement for if you've ever had a couple of drinks. So on a Friday night, if I've had half a bottle of champagne with my husband, I take 3 or 4 After Parties before I go to bed. I wake up in the morning and I feel completely fine. Zero hangover. I don't even wake up with a dull head. After Party is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So if you want to drink and not have the effects of the drink, take After Party. Okay. Layla is asking, what is the last day we can purchase the VIP? You can purchase it really anytime between now and the end of the program. So I think probably next Friday. You probably could purchase it the week after that as well, but probably next Friday, the 18th, probably the last day you can purchase. So if you get it before then, you should be fine. Tina Ben Westwood. I'm currently on the 4-week shred taking the creatine. Should I stop this before taking photos on Sunday or not? No, Tina, unless you're absolutely shredded to the bone, I wouldn't worry about creatine. It does draw water into the muscle, but that's good because you want your muscles to look nice and full for the photo shoot. So the only time that athletes would stop taking creatine would be probably the week before a show, whenever they are really, really shredded and they want to get absolutely bone dry. But for regular people, no, you don't need to not take it. Virginia is saying, is it normal to have sore muscles after each training session, even after 4 months of training? Yes, and that's good. You want to have sore muscles. Like I'm sore every single day of my life. And if I've gone up in weight, even if it's by 5 or 10 kilos, I can be extra sore the next day. So yeah, soreness is just part of training. Like, you'll never be as sore as you were the first time you started training, but you should have some kind of residual soreness every single day. Yes, should. Okay, lots of chat going on here in the comments. I'm loving this. Jer is saying, Jer Costello, I'm 5 days off sugar. My muscles are aching in the gym this week. Is this due to dropping the sugar or just because I'm working hard in the gym? I had got into the habit of having a few Jaffa cakes for quick carbs, so not just wondering. No, cutting out sugar won't affect your muscles in any way. It won't make your muscles any more sore. Training in the gym will make your muscles sore. So muscles respond to stimulus. If you're training in the gym and you're tearing your muscle fibers, then that will cause inflammation within the muscle. So if you can imagine how sore a torn muscle is, everyone here has pulled a muscle. So if you pulled a muscle or torn a muscle, you know how sore that is. Well, basically training in the gym is just very mild trauma, like pulling a muscle or tearing a muscle, except you're not creating enough trauma to create a deep tear. You're only just creating little surface tears, which is what then causes more muscle fiber to build on top, which is basically just scar tissue. So muscle tissue is basically just scar tissue. So it won't be lack of sugar. It'll just be you creating trauma on the muscle. So well done you. Must have been working hard, which is great. So yeah, well done. What else have we got? Joe McGlade, what drinks are allowed? Is it just water? Yeah, just water, or water flavored with lemon, or sparkling water with a squeeze of lime, or you can have black tea or black coffee. If you really have to have a splash of, some kind of plant milk or whatever is your, milk of choice, I won't hold it against you. Just make sure you're not drinking, milky cappuccinos all day, because those have a lot of calories in them. But if you're drinking a cup of tea and you want, I'm not going to drink black tea, so I don't drink tea. But sometimes I drink tea, very rarely. But if I'm having tea, I'm having a bit of oat milk in it. And even if I was on a shred, I wouldn't not be having oat milk. Same with coffee. Like whenever I'm on a shred, so if I was on your meal plan, if there was oat milk in the meal plan or some kind of plant milk, I would take the plant milk out of the meal plan and just use water instead. And then I would allocate that to my coffee or my tea. And if there was no way to do that, I would just add a little bit into my coffee and my tea, because I'm a little bit of a rebel like that. So there you go. Avanish is saying, I bought the last Extreme Body Makeover. Is the new Extreme Menopause Body Makeover the same? No, completely different. It's completely updated, new hub, new meals, new eating guides, new trainings added. It's not completely different. Of course, there's a lot of similarities, as there is in all my programs, but the actual program is different. But the biggest thing that is different about this one is I'm coaching it in a private group, which you've never had before. And then there's also Zoom coaching on a Tuesday with Laura or Vanessa. And then there's Mark Getty coaching on a Thursday as well. So you get 4 days of coaching. And then once a month, we're going to be hosting Zoom calls with my personal coach, Nancy, who's my life coach. She coaches the whole company. She's going to be doing coaching in a Zoom call as well once a month, where we take a couple of people and help you to work through an issue that's holding you back, or something which you can't overcome, or some kind of self-sabotage, or some reason emotional reason you just can't follow through, or maybe it's a physical reason. And we're basically going to put you on a goal setting program, and we're going to help you overcome whatever limitations come up as you start to move towards this goal. So that's going to be really exciting as well. And we've never done anything like this in the program too. We couldn't do it for the mass program, so that is going to be part of the new program as well. Virginia's asking, already asked that. You guys are saying, what's the HRT called again? It's called Femoston, Femoston. That's the one that I use. But I've also heard that a really good one is Sandrina. A friend of mine was on, I think it was a patch called Sandrina, and she said it was absolutely phenomenal, life-changing for her. Michelle Pinto, what settings do you use on your Stairmaster for speed? Does that change during the 45-minute session? No, I go on level 6 and I stay on level 6 the whole time. Sometimes if I'm feeling very energetic, I will go on level 7, but mostly it's just level 6, and that just stays the whole time. Patty is saying, is lysine good for shingles avoidance? Yes, L-lysine is phenomenal for anybody who gets cold sores or herpes virus or shingles. It's really good for preventative measures. So because I have the shingles virus and it flares up occasionally and I get floored with tiredness, if you take lysine, I take 1,000 milligrams in the morning. Is it 1,000 or 1,500? I think it's 1,500. I take 1,500 milligrams in the morning and 1,500 milligrams in the evening, morning and night, every every day, and that helps to keep it at bay. I used to take acyclovir, which is an antiviral tablet. I was on acyclovir twice a day for about a year. That was the only way that I could keep the virus at bay, and until I started HRT. So what I realized was every month, either when my period was due or when I started to ovulate, it was actually triggering the virus in my body, and I was floored with tiredness, absolutely floored with tiredness, like so bad. And it was just the hormonal fluctuations that were causing it. And so once I started taking HRT, that actually completely stopped it. And then after 3 months of HRT, I decided to come off the acyclovir and just stay on the lysine. And after 2 months, I didn't have one single relapse last month nor this month. I'm now 2 months without any flare up whatsoever. Honestly, life-changing. HRT is life-changing. You don't even realize all of the symptoms and all of the things that low estrogen causes. It's horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Will the VIP have info, Kathy is asking, to remind us about lean build? I have the original Extreme Body Makeover and would love to go from 34 body fat to 24 to 26. So Kathy, the VIP is just for the 5-day challenge. It's not actually for Extreme Menopause Body Makeover. Extreme Menopause Body Makeover doesn't have a VIP challenge. Or doesn't have a VIP aspect. It's the same price for everybody. So that's just for this challenge. And this one, the VIP in this one for $17 doesn't include information on a lean build. It just gives you lifetime access to the recordings. You have 3 different meal plans in your hub, as well as some extra goodies and stuff in there as well for the tiny price of $17. Monica Wince, basic question. Why are we to hold in our stomachs when doing cardio and or lifting weight training? So I wouldn't hold in your transverse abdominis during cardio, Monica. I look like I'm pregnant when I'm doing cardio. Like everything just hangs out there. But what you want to do is whenever you're lifting weights, especially whenever you're training, doing squats or kind of heavy lower body exercises, what you want to do is make sure that you've activated your transverse abdominis. How you activate your transverse abdominis is by imagining, you ready? Tell you why first. So you activate your transverse abdominis, or you activate that area because it's basically like wearing a belt around your waist. It's like wearing a waist trainer. Whenever your transverse abdominis is activated, it actually protects your lower back. So that's why it's super important to activate it. A lot of women don't know that, and that's why whenever they squat, what they tend to do is they kind of flare out a bit like this, and they allow their body to go loose. And that then what happens whenever you do that is your back catches the weight. So if you have your transverse abdominis turned on and your body is super strong, me strong like bull, and you have like a really strong core and you have a barbell on you and you sink down, if your transverse abdominis is turned on, then you're going to keep all that effort in your glutes and your legs where it belongs. If it's not, you could actually end up caving and doing this and kind of panicking a little bit. And that means then that what's going to happen is your lower back is going to catch the weight. Because whenever you do this, you drop, your lower back clenches and it picks up the slack. So I always teach, I actually have a whole podcast on how to turn on your transverse abdominis. And I think it's called something about squatting and back pain, how, doing this one thing completely eliminated back pain. You should definitely go and listen to it. But whenever I teach this, people think it's absolutely hilarious. I love it. So I got it from a yogi friend of mine who is male, actually. And he said to me, he was teaching me once how to turn on my transverse abdominis. And he said to me, I want you to imagine that you are sucking a smoothie through a straw using your vagina. And I was like, and everyone watching this, and now you're all going, you can imagine the action of it, can't you? Like, who's ever put their mouth around a thick straw and tried to suck a smoothie through it? Like, what do? You go you have to suck hard. It doesn't just shoot up like it does if you're like taking a sip of Coca-Cola. It's not like that. You really have to suck hard. So I want you to imagine that action. That's the first thing you have to do. You picked up a smoothie, you put it in position, and now you're sucking up your smoothie, right? So you can actually feel it go, start at the bottom and go all the way up, right? Okay, now you're sucking your smoothie through your straw using your vagina. Once you've done that, draw your navel to your spine. So keep that turned on, keep the smoothie sucking up, and then draw your navel towards your spine. Now your transverse abdominis is turned on. So your transverse abdominis is about is about sucking up through your vagina first and then drawing your navel to your spine. It's not just about drawing your navel to your spine, which is what a lot of people say it is. You have to activate the inner part first, because your transverse abdominis is a band of muscles that goes around where your waist is. And they're internal muscles. They're stabilizing muscles. A lot of people want to train abs and they just want to train their rectus abdominis, which are the muscles that go down the front of the body. But your rectus abdominis is absolutely useless. It's like it does nothing except expand your chest when you breathe. It looks good, but they're completely useless muscles. Your TVA, your transverse abdominis muscles, are actually the muscles that protect you. Those are the ones that are, the bad boys that you want to look after. So that's how you turn on your TVA, and it's to protect your back whenever you're doing any kind of heavy lifting. And if you can practice activating it, it will actually change your life. Okay, what have we got here? I'm like moving between my computers here. I'm feeling very, very cosmopolitan here. Let's see what we have on YouTube over here. Kathy Laband is saying, hi, Kim, I'm sure you did a talk about under-eating. Is there a link? So I think I did a talk about under-eating last Thursday. It was in the 4-week Shred 2.0 group. I did a talk there. It was a live Q&A on Thursday, and I'm pretty sure I talked about under-eating in that. So if you want to hear more about that, then definitely go and listen in there. Oh, sorry. Oh, there you are. It's like Prasanna's asking me about masturbation. Is it good or bad? Good for what? Good for fat loss? I guess if you did it pretty vigorously, you might lose a few pounds. Whatever makes you feel good, sweetheart. That's what I say. Whatever makes you feel good, you rock on. Right, what else have we got going on here? Valby, you mentioned HRT. I've been in menopause for some time. I'm 56, still have night sweats, achy joint, tired. Is it too late to start HRT? I am not an HRT expert. I have to tell you that now. But I'll tell you that my mum started HRT at age 68 and my aunt started it at age 70. So I don't think it's ever too late. Whenever my mum went to see my doctor, who is a menopause consultant, she was having prolapse, actually. She couldn't understand what this real heaviness was constantly she had. And the doctor said to her, oh, you have prolapse due to, lack of estrogen. You need to start HRT. Mum was like, I went through menopause 20 years ago, because in my family all the women go through menopause super early, and my mum hasn't had a menstrual period since she was 46 and she's now 69. And they said, the doctor said to her, no, it's never too late to start, because it's the estrogen that holds everything in place. That's why women have all of these issues, like prolapse. And my aunt, who's 70, she was having constant UTIs, like every couple of weeks she was having UTIs. And so she started the vaginal estrogen and the tablet estrogen and hasn't had one since. So I don't believe it's ever too late. I am certainly not an expert. Definitely speak to your doctor is what I would say. Okay, what else have we got? Lisa, can you reverse diet for 6 weeks and then follow it with a shred? I'm thinking about how to organize the next 3 months. 100%, Lisa, if you want to. You just need to look at, you don't want to shred too often. So if you've been shredding for 3 months, let's say you have from Extreme Body Makeover, maybe you're actually, you wouldn't be reverse dieting for 6 weeks if you weren't in a longer program. You just want to make sure that you're not shredding too often. If you're shredding for 4 weeks, that's fine. If you're shredding for a long period of time, you want to give your body a reasonable break in between it to reset your metabolism, to, boost everything, feed everything, get everything back to full health. That's the most important thing, really. So technically, can you do it? Yeah, you can do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever moves you towards your goal. One thing I would do is I would say set a goal. So if your goal is to still lose more body fat, rather than you reverse dieting for 6 weeks and then shredding again, I would look at staying consistently on a calorie plan that's slightly below your TDEE, or if you're in Extreme Menopause Body Makeover, just follow the principles that we're teaching, which means your body will continue to lose body fat without counting calories, and follow the training and the cardio plan. Cardio is completely optional. You can control your calories just through diet. So I would set your goal and then I would tailor your plan towards your goal. So rather than building or reverse dieting and then shredding, I would stay on a long-term plan that moved you closer to your goals steadily over time. That's what I would recommend. If that sounds like fun to you. It's never really fun, is it? Okay, let me see what else we've got. A couple more minutes. So Kerry is saying, can you clarify the carbs eating, please? Yes or no? I listened to your VIP video saying during menopause, we don't break down the carbs properly. I'm just confused as my PT was pushing for a high carb diet for me. Kerry, it just depends on your goal, really. So if you are a woman in menopause and you are following a calorie and macro controlled meal plan, then you can eat anything. You can eat fruit, you can eat carbs, you can eat drink liquid calories, you can eat and drink anything. But if you are following a lifestyle program, which is what I'm trying to move everybody in our company into, where you're not counting calories all the time, you're just steadily losing body fat and building muscle, and you're menopausal, you definitely don't want to be eating a lot of white starchy carbs. Carbs are fine, but just not white starchy carbs. Because whenever you are in perimenopause and menopause, your body creates insulin resistance within your muscle cells to divert more calories to fat store. The reason it does this is because fat stores around your middle are very estrogenic. And as your ovaries start to stop, or as your ovaries stop producing estrogen, as your estrogen levels start to decline, your body isn't ready to give up on estrogen yet, so it diverts energy into fat store to create more ways to produce estrogen as and when it needs it. So if you eat a lot of carbs, your body's going to store more of those carbs as body fat, unless you're on a macro and calorie controlled diet. So if your PT has you on a macro and calorie controlled diet, which takes into account your TDEE and what you're training and how many calories you need to eat and that kind of stuff, then carbs are totally fine. They're not off the table. People ask me this a lot. They say, but Kim, you teach that menopausal women shouldn't eat white starchy carbs, but yet there's white starchy carbs in your meal plan. What gives? The meal plans that we provide are calorie and macro counted. So you're not overeating anyway. So if you think about it, even if your body does create insulin resistance in the cells to divert more energy to fat store, if your calories are at a reasonably low level, which they are in a shred, your body's going to break down those fat stores again into energy and transport them back through the tissues to be used. So it doesn't matter that happens because the fat cells are still going to be burnt off because you're in a calorie deficit. So which basically means that your energy expenditure is greater than your energy input. Whenever that happens, your body will utilize fat stores as energy. Now, if you're not counting calories, which many people aren't, they're just eating normally, and carbs, white starchy carbs are usually part of that, as is fruit, as is liquid calories, then what's going to happen is your body, whenever you're like, I haven't changed a thing. This is what people say to me all the time. I haven't changed a thing, and yet I'm getting fatter. Why is that? It's because you haven't changed a thing. That's why you're getting fatter. Because as you get older, whereas your body used to put a lot of the carbs into your muscle cells, now your muscle cells are going, They're like a toddler with his mouth closed, or a baby that refuses to eat. They're refusing the glucose in your blood, so your body is trying to get rid of that glucose quickly. So it's rediverting. What it does, first of all, is it starts to pump more insulin into the blood because it thinks that's the problem, not enough insulin. So then your pancreas are like, we're tired. We're just always pumping insulin into the blood. Give us a break. But so that's why a lot of menopausal women get type 2 diabetes as well, if their diet is off, because what happens is your pancreas get tired just pumping more and more insulin into the blood. And then your body realizes, shit, the problem wasn't more insulin. We don't know what to do with all this glucose. So it just rediverts it into fat store. So if you're not changing the way you eat, your body's going to naturally store more fat because your muscles aren't absorbing as many calories. And that's part of the reason why you feel tired as well, because your muscles just don't have as much glycogen to get you through the day. So whenever you eat the way I teach on my program in the Extreme Menopause Body Makeover, what happens is your muscles actually get filled with glycogen because there's only a very small drip goes into the bloodstream. So your body absorbs what it needs and there's no excess left over to go to fat store because you're only eating slow acting carbs, which means that there's not a huge amount of insulin needed to process them, and there's not a huge amount of glucose going into the blood. And it also means you have a very healthy digestive system because 90% of the food you're eating is fiber, which means everything moves along beautifully as it should, and you feel amazing and you have more energy and life is good. especially when you're on HRT. Okay, guys, thanks so much for being here today. This was a great question, a great Q&A. I had questions flying in from everywhere. So thanks so much for being patient with me while we got this new studio set up. I really do appreciate it. I know it was a bit of a shit show over the last couple of weeks, but we finally got there. And this is just a great case of just start imperfectly. Don't wait until everything's perfect. Just start imperfectly, figure it out as you go along, and look how far we are ahead now. I've kept moving forward. I've made it happen no matter what. And we're here. We're all here. We're all learning. We've had great Q&As. I've been going live 3-4 days a week in all the different groups and loving it. And finally, we got the studio set up. The sound is good. The picture is good. Everything is wonderful. It's not finished in the background yet, though. I'm going to do a bit more rearranging, make it look lovely. But yeah, see you next week for the challenge. This is our last Q&A on a Tuesday. But we'll see you next week for the challenge. We start on Monday. Laura's going to go live at 12 o'clock with a workout. I'm going to go live at 4 o'clock with a workout. If you guys are like, what challenge? Go to the website, sculptedvegan.com, sign up for the 5-day challenge. And we're going to be giving away 3 of our Extreme Menopause Body Makeover programs next Friday. It's going to be absolutely epic. You're going to love it. Apart from anything, the average fat loss in the last challenge that we ran a few weeks ago over the 5-day period was between 5 and 9 pounds. The women lost a minimum of 5 pounds and up to 9 pounds of body fat on this program. It was phenomenal. So if you want fast fat loss and you want to feel good about yourself and you want to learn loads from me, I'm going to be teaching every single afternoon. Make sure you join the challenge, sculptedvegan.com. It's going to be absolutely epic. And hopefully I'll see all of you there next week in the group. We're going to have a party and it's going to be absolutely fabulous. As fabulous as you are, darling. Okay, thanks so much for being here. Catch you all soon. Sending big kisses. Have a great rest of the day wherever you are. And I'll see you next week in the challenge. Okay, bye guys.